Hey toy fans, Aaron here. Released in the year 2000 as a fan club exclusive, we're taking a look at Wuher, released on that Power of the Force CommTech line. And I know it was a fan club exclusive, but I gotta say I have a vague memory of seeing this on the toy shelves in Toys R Us. As I said, it was released on that Power of the Force card, so even though it was exclusive, still looks just like the standard line did with Darth Vader in the upper left side. I really did like this version of the card back with the green glows coming out from the Star Wars logo. Through the blister, you see your figure with the included accessory, and then off on the left is going to be a nice image of him as he glanced over at Luke Skywalker, and then below that, the CommTech chip. And then real quick, bottom left side of this card, you're going to notice there's a black sticker over what is or was a warning label on there. So in this case, as you see when I go through the back side, the particular variation number of this card is .0000. If you happen to see one with a warning sticker, that's going to be your .0100. Here's a look at the back side, where on the top left side is kind of a brief description about A New Hope while still trying to tie in the prequel trilogy. To the right, you're going to get a description about Wuher. Middle of the card is essentially your advertisement for the CommTech reader, and it does lay out some of the lines that the included chip says. Moving further down is going to be a handful of figures that were available in the line at this time. And then down on the bottom there, I mentioned the version of this card is .0000. And now taking a look at the figure out of the packaging. Overall, yes indeed, by today's standards, this is a very basic figure. And rather simple looking at that. I mean, no wash to him. And unfortunately, his little accessory glass is molded into his right hand. Now, the figure did get an update around 2004 for the Cantina set that came out. Let's see, first I think it was a Kmart exclusive, and then eventually got canceled. I think a couple might have made it out for the Saga collection, but then it was a Walmart exclusive for the original trilogy collection, and here's that figure next to it. They did make some updates to it. They resculpted both arms, gave him a removable accessory glass this time. If I had to choose between the two figures, honestly, I would go for the original Power of the Force release. I like what they were trying to do with that new figure, but it just didn't work out. I think the dirt wash and the pale skin of this new figure just doesn't work, in my opinion. But that is all for another video, I suppose. Getting back to this release, though, and looking at the head sculpt. Overall, for the facial sculpting, I think things are looking nice. It's a pretty good representation of the character we saw on screen. Hair sculpting looks good, little messy, but well painted. And when I say a little messy, I mean in terms of the way they sculpted it. They didn't give him, a nice, clean, freshly combed look. I really like the painting they did for the scruffy look of his beard. Some of his facial, scarring is sculpted into the figure as well, and a good paint job for the eyebrows and the eyes. So, yeah, head sculpting looks great. Moving down to the arms and chest of the figure, things are, like I said, basic, but done well. Plenty of fold sculpted into the fabric, so through the arms, things have a very nice drape to it. It follows the soft bend of the elbow very well. Some nice draping of the fabric as it comes off the wrist and hangs down a little. And then in his right hand, a big silver ring painted in there. And that white accessory glass is sculpted in there. That's not going to be removable. Quite all right by me, as I just keep the figure standing behind the Cantina bar, the little cardboard setup. So it does exactly what I need it to do. And then for the chest, same thing going on here. A lot of wrinkles. The layering being sculpted in for one side of his robe, folding over the other, looks quite nice. Decent skin tone painting from the upper part of his chest to the neck. Not 100% match, but it's passable. Around his waist, you got a simple brown belt painted in, silver buckle. Nothing overly detailed there. I don't think it needs to be. You do have a small separation for his robes off to the sides of his hip to allow for a little bit more leg movement. Honestly, don't know that it helps all that much. And then the legs of the figure itself, brown pants with a lighter brown set of boots. Pant sculpting's pretty basic, some ruffles and folds in there. And you're getting a bit more folds being sculpted in at the back of the knee where it would bend. And then the boots looks good. Honestly, I don't think waist down we have any frame of reference for what this character was wearing, but it fits in quite well with what people were wearing on Tatooine. I like the way they sculpted the wrapping onto the top of his boots. You do have a fair amount of texture being sculpted in there for those bandages or whatever those would be. And then you have a little bit of a darker brown color being painted in for the lower part of his boot. As for articulation, head swivels, then you get your swiveling at the shoulders. He spins a full 360 at the waist, and then the legs come forward a little bit and then back a bit. And then for the accessory it comes with, which is the droid detector unit. Pretty simple accessory. It does nothing. And you know what? That's exactly what it really needs to be doing, is nothing. If you had picked up that cardboard cantina set, this was just the perfect accessory to have in there. It's got a nice silver color to it. I like the blue light that they painted on there. Obviously, it doesn't light up or anything, but still looks good. A couple black squares look nice also. So, it's an accessory that does nothing and yet does exactly what it needs to do because it's just an environmental piece. So I'm really glad it's something that they added in with this figure. Here's a quick look at that CommTech chip that's included. It doubles as an action figure stand for these figures. Same image we saw in the card is also on the front of this CommTech chip. And then on the back side, you got a little number for his lineup along with his name and a very brief description. Let's take a listen to the included lines.
No blasters! Hey, we don't serve their kind here. You're droids. They'll have to wait outside.
So that's the sounds. This certainly doesn't sound anything like him. But I gotta say, I do like the addition of the droid detection unit making it sounds. That's much closer to the sound we heard in the movie than what we're hearing for the dialogue. But it is what it is. So overall for me, like I said, while it is a very, very simple figure, it does exactly what it needs to do, and that it provides the bartender to serve the drinks behind the counter in the cantina. It's not a figure that I need a ton of articulation, and I even don't mind that the glass is molded into his hand because you're already going to serve a drink anyways, so I don't mind that it's stuck on there. So that wraps this one up. Definitely let me know what you think of this figure in the comment section below, and as always, thanks for watching.